Gotcha.
You do one per person, is that?
Well, you can do one per team per round. So we're gonna have 4 rounds total, so you can have 4 of them. You guys will all decide on your answers per round.
Right on.
And you can make fun of that person that got it wrong.
There's only 2 of us. We should
Oh, well,
have problems.
that could still be fun. Thank you. All right, if you want to kill that music, actually 2 seconds. Yeah, it's gonna be 2 seconds. My little playlist. Good evening, everyone. Welcome down to Cranky Sam. We're getting started with trivia here in just a couple minutes. If you'd like to play along, come on up to the table. Grab 4 slips and a pen. Again, we'll get started here in just a couple minutes. Thanks for coming down to Cranky.
You need 1 per round?
4, 1 per round, 4 total. Hey, how are you? Just thinking about you. Those plants I gave you are in a horrible condition.
No, they're doing so well
Oh,
right now.
I was going to say I have other replacers because some of those can go outside.
No, my 2 big ones that don't right now they're flourishing.
Good. Because actually one
I
of them.
took good care of them.
Oh no, I was just assuming because the exact same ones I have are looking a little rough right now. Mm-hmm.
It dipped across like 3 weeks ago.
And now it's starting to bounce back.
He's
His
happy.
little baby that I've had for so long just gave up the ghost while I was gone. Got back and I was like, "Oh, you're my sweet baby." But why? Well, you can't. But I.
Back to me.
Why don't you come back? Because I love you.
Perfect. Perfect indeed. Perfect. For this?
Yeah, I love you. I know, I miss you too. Want to hear about all these interviews? Now everything's going.
I'm 13 actually. So she popped in.
Yeah, I don't know if I can. Right on. This exciting. It's the Snippy Snow Machine. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, me too. How are you?
Oh no.
I'm doing good. Good.
So liberal. I had one of those.
I know,
That's
look
how
at-
good that is.
Well, no, this is the new and improved one, new design. It now has a padded clamp for stability. So, yeah, look at that classy
For
bra.
good pleasure.
Oh, honey.
Look at his brother.
Somebody
How many rounds are there? 4?
for somebody.
What's that?
This was a prize from before somebody graffito tag got brought back apparently.
Look at a right flare on his arm.
Yeah, or yeah, give him some kind of lame tattoo, tramp stamp. Alrighty, friends. Lovers, last call to come on up and grab 4 slips of the pen. Start with trivia here in 2 minutes. Four of them. And live, we're gonna get going now. If it's your first time down or it's been a while, go ahead and check out those screens. The basics tonight. We're gonna have 4 rounds of 10 questions each. Each question just worth 1 point. But if you look at the top right corner of your score sheet, you will see a star. You can circle that star during 1 round, and that will double your points for that round. Meaning, if you get 8 correct, you'll get 16 total points. Make sure to use that star once and circle the heck out of it for me. Also, real quick, some notes. There are no repeats, so please take notes as we go through. I'll give you time at the end of every round. And tonight, first place prize, a $30 drink card. Second place, a $20 drink card. Third place, surprise prize tonight is the original Snoopy Snow Cone machine. Only lightly used. Now, here's the deal. It says the original. This is fully upgraded for modernity. As it says here, it includes a padded clamp for stability. So no more unstable snow cone machines. I don't know what that means. We also have an even stupider prize for best team name, so come up with something ridiculous for me. We only have 4 rules, so please follow them. No cell phones around. Feel free to narc on your neighbors. We love that down here. We also have a team limit of 6 people. If you have more than 6, that's fine. You can still play, but you can't win our crappy prizes. So please mark that clearly at the top. Don't shout out answers. It's rude and lame. And more importantly, relax. It is by definition, none of this is life or death. So with all that being said, make sure you have a team name at the top. We're going to have right into round number 1. So go. And questions about brothers, real and fictional. Sup, bros? Pens ready. Make sure your team name is at the top. Let's go. Question number one. Dmitri, Ivan, and Alexei are collectively known as whom? The title of a late 19th century novel. And first question, our brothers round. I'll give you about 10 more seconds. Again, I'll give you 2 minutes at the end of the round, but we're moving on in 10 seconds. Number two in our brothers round. Not only by his stage name as what two sons who are also famous actors. Again, not looking for his stage name, but the name of his two sons that are actors. Seven seconds. Take some notes if you need to.
Takes no.
Autobiographical novel about himself and his brother Paul, set in Missoula during the early 1900s. Again, look for the name of the author, not the novel. And seconds. Our brother round. The team is synonymous with the sound and style of the Jazz Age, collaborating on classics like Porgy and Bess. Give the answer. Five, another two-part answer. Ice and Fire series. Brothers Gregor Clegane are known by what names respectively? Get them in the right order, please. And keep those answers quiet. Remember, you got teams all around you. And second, take some notes if you'd like some more time at the end of the round. Please sit down there, because are Nick Hopkins and one third brother, the forgettable Jonas, on mandolin. Name that third Jonas brother. Ten seconds. Question presented brothers. Rhea and Sylvia, a Vestal virgin in Roman mythology, famously gave birth to but raised what two brothers? Another two-part answer. Ten seconds. Question number 8, the brothers are just here. Brothers Frank and Joe solved crimes in Bayport, Massachusetts. In what book series? Name the series.
These are okay-ish now, but I've seen them so they've already shouting things out and stuff already. So I'll try to keep an eye on it and head it up before the pass. But I just wanted to give you a general heads up. Thank you. He's been shouting out stuff and just randomly shouting bingo. This guy at the end in particular is a hot mess. He's, I think, probably.
10 seconds.
I just don't want to. If I have to throw it down, I just want to make sure you know that I'm keeping an eye on it at least. So far, we're fine. But I just want to give you a heads up.
And on to question number 9. After King Edward VIII of Britain abdicated, oh Jesus, I wrote this weird. After King Edward VIII of Britain's Jesus Christ superstar abdication following a salacious scandal, his brother Albert took the throne and also took on what regal name? What was the name of Albert once he became king after Edward? Lots of people. And seconds. And finally, good have a brothers round about the Marx Brothers. There were 5 famous Marx Brothers, including Chico, Harpo, Groucho, and what other 2 brothers with repeated letters in their nicknames, their names? Good looking for 2 answers on this one as well. 10 seconds. All right, folks, just like that, round number one is done. Now, when you're done, please turn them in front. It was always ugly, but now he's even worse. Upside down in front of that, 2 minutes. The stars that will double your points for this round. And 1 minute on, 1 minute to go. It's good for you, right there, upside down, right there for you, buddy. All right, folks, about 30 seconds left. Your subject will be turned in the next 30 seconds, please. Upside down in front of the mouse. All right, folks, and that is your time. Responsible for it, and we'll get your answers and move right along to round number two. All right, crew, got all those scores up. Your scores tonight. Let's see how your team is. We check those answers. You're at 19th century. By the way, spelling does not matter. I've never actually known. I thought there was at least two L's. You guys are fine. To those who put the brothers Ken, it's a novel. Is better known as Martin Sheen. We don't have to really Sheen. To certain, right? Is what we're looking for, not the name of the book. Those two famous jazz brothers who collaborated a lot, especially when you mentioned George Gershwin. The Hound and the Mountain. Joe, the Hardy Boys, the Hardy Boys. All right, this one, a lot of you went way back in history. This is actually quite recent. Also, something about the first name right, but didn't give it its full legal name. We did need the correct number after this one. Because that's his regal name, not his first name. King George the Sixth. George the Sixth. That is Queen Elizabeth II's Papa Bear, by the way. So, about 100 years ago. I don't think anybody got the other Marx brother. A lot of you knew is the other one is Gummo. You know, Gummo Marx. I never find their kind of schmaltz that interesting anyway. So those are your scores for now. Let's check your total scores and see how your team did. And for future reference, if you rolled your eyes about George not counting, remember this is trivia, not just like hanging out for fun. Always be as specific as possible. There are plenty of nerds out there that would be just as bad if I took George instead of George the Sixth. But I hate to agree with them. They are very scary to me. Currently in first place, I believe. Minimum contact high is in first place, getting 7 correct and using their star. If I can make a request to that team, find somebody with basic bitch penmanship, please, to write your answers. Is tied for second with the Smith Marines, and we have 2 tied there for third. Favorite names this week. I'm a little disappointed in you. So, Busters. Doing really creepy plastic surgery so you look like the interesting movie. Already sounds a pretty mixed bag of scores. And just so you know, last week we had really high scores. So this week I didn't decide to be a dick. I just decided to be like less cute. So that being said, let's dive right into round number 2. It's going to be our random round. 10 questions for you to give me 10 random round question number 1. Hill in the musical, The Music Man. What people right here in River City? Yeah, I just don't can't do that. Moving on to question number 3. Who was the first president of Texas? Ten seconds. They're putting you to work. All right. Moving on here quickly. Then that last question was independent Texas. Moving on to question number 4. Often associated with hot springs and geysers, what word describes dense openings at the surface where volcanic gases and vapors are emitted? Fill in your joke about your partner's stinky ass right there.
You're buying me a beer. Game on.
Go along here to question number 5. I felt like I played I hate but love this book by Sarah J. Maas. Who's brought to what? Jesus Christ. Read the room, my friend.
Sorry.
And this I ran around. Archaeology is literature focused on the lives and legends of whom? Again, be as specific as possible. Question number 7. The greatest naval commanders in history, a statue of whom sits atop a 170-foot tall pillar in Trafalgar Square, London. Name of that great British naval commander. And what 24 forms an stainless steel, protecting it from corrosion and wear. Name that element. I only did one sports ball question, Bernard. This is barely a sports ball question. It's actually just some basic math. Well, we'll pretend like it's about sports. If a football player gains 7 yards, how many inches did they gain?
framing at the top is most of a question. But they left very kindly. He apologized on the way out. I was like, don't worry about it. Okay. And he was just like screaming at the top of his lungs. And seconds. They didn't want to kick anybody out, but they were done. They've been overturned.
And finally, question number 10 in our random round. What actress claimed she was legally married to Keanu Reeves after a real Romanian priest officiated their wedding scene in the movie Bram Stoker's Dracula? A little bit of context of time there. And seconds.
I didn't fuck around this week.
And just like that, Fred knows round number 2 is over. You have 2 minutes to check your answers. Please check them for readability, legibility as well, please. And let's get those turned in upside down in front of the mouse in the next 2 minutes. 2 minutes starting now.
You know, I think they were having fun all day, and it was time for them to go to like Charlie's. Go to Charlie's, sweetheart. He was cute. He did apologize on the way out, and I was like, I have no problem getting rowdy. It's just like, again, read the room, right?
Okay, so just a thing on our name.
Yes.
It's not Doge, just D, not Doges, Doged. Like we haven't been doged.
Which I put D-O-G-E apostrophe T, right?
Yeah, but you put apostrophe S. It says not
Oh,
Doges.
sorry, that was just a, I
Yeah.
gotcha. Gotcha.
Just,
They're the important things in life, right?
All right, folks, you have about 30 seconds left to get all your slips up. I'll get these scored as quickly as possible, and we'll keep moving on. Say Friday or Saturday from 8 p.m. to 12. $5 one drink for Frankie Sam Beers. Great deal. Try some delicious drinks.
There's no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Good.
Fun fact, folks, the kitchen will close in about 30 minutes. So if you want some grub or a snack, though, make sure to get those orders in soon. First. All right, let's check those answers. Another pretty rough round for Lonnie. Feel bad. Tends to happen sometimes in random rounds because stuff is so damn random. While Auckland is the biggest city in New Zealand, that is not the capital, much like Montana. It's Wellington, New Zealand. Bottom of the North Island. He's the music man. He's the one. He's the music man. Trouble right here in River City is that dangerous game of pool. Oh. Well, good guess. Some people went with Austin. Not a bad call. Not correct, unfortunately. River Sam Houston. Sam Houston. How'd that work out for you, Sam? Screw Texas. I don't like them. Everything's bigger and better in Texas. I don't think so. All right, folks, again, we are looking for a single word. So some of you that put like geothermal vents, while that is not incorrect, that's not the answer to the question. A few people did get it, though. In science and geology, we call those fumaroles. Fumaroles. There was a couple thorn and rose croaks out there. They're quite a popular novel. That's Prithian, you know, Prithian. I'll be honest, I tried to listen to it as an audiobook and I got bored enough that I just like didn't anymore. But that's just me. No judging. May have heard of something like the Hagia Sophia, the massive, very complicated actually building in Turkey. That's saints. Hagiology is the writing about saints, Catholic specifically, but there's all sorts of other saints that could fit into it. That great naval commander who stands on top of an extremely tall tower with his small statue, that's Horatio Nelson. Nelson. What's that? It's based on the Battle of Trafalgar in which Nelson defeated Napoleon. Google it, bro. Just not during trivia. Hey, I don't think a lot of us know how like stainless steel is made, but chromium is vitally important. Chromium. Actually, a surprising number of y'all got that, so good on you. Again, I couldn't rally any craps to give about sports this week, so give you some basic math. Most of you got it. A yard is 3 feet. There's 12 inches in a foot. So if you add all those up, it times up 252 inches. 252. Or 36 times 7. And last but not least, had some interesting guesses. Reese Witherspoon popped up a lot. That's a different kind of. Remember, it has to be someone a little bit off kilter and a bit batshit at the time anyway. That'd be the gorgeous and talented Winona Ryder. Apparently, it kind of started as a joke, and then she kind of started calling Keanu Reeves and being like, half your stuff's mine, we're legally married. And then she went into treatment. Good call, Winona. Alrighty, crew, let's check your scores again. Very mixed bag, pretty low scoring round. But that's all right. You all survived. See how your team did. Got our first goose egg of the night. That's okay, though. And here we are at the top of the board, changing around a little bit here. Minimum compact high. Points currently in the lead. Tied for second. And place is a 50-drunk mother and 100 days of fortitude. Meaning we still got lots of space. Some of those are out of a total of 30. So we are sneaking by here like a jock in Shakespeare class. Decent degrees, bro. All right, we're going to move on to round number 3. Round number 3 is a photo round. So make sure you can see one of the TV screens. I'll tell you this one I went back and forth about doing or not, so I just want to be clear. We're doing the mammalian menagerie. Name the mammal. Now, here's the deal. A lot of mammals look pretty common to each other. So I tried to pick like a very specific one of them. Some might have a tail that's prehensile and some might not, but they look otherwise the same. If that was true, I showed the prehensile tail in the picture just so we could all get to it. Most of these are pretty out there rando and mammals, so don't feel bad if you don't recognize all of them. Let's give you a general hint. Well, actually, I won't. You guys will be fine. Maybe. We'll start you off with something a little easy here. Move on to number one. Name the animal. Name the mammal. Question number one. I want to mention I will take a couple answers for a few of these. So if you're like, it must be one of these or these, just put one of them down. Chances are to be correct. Ten seconds. And you can take notes on these if you need to. But we'll be moving on to question number two. Name the mammal. And seconds. Three. Name the mammal. That astro. Name is fine for all of these answers. Number four. And seconds. People on number five. Name the slightly ocular mammal. 10 seconds. Animal in general. This is one particular version of them. And seconds. Number 7 is a weird looking turd. Name this mammal. Reminds me of a stuffy old British man with no chin. Who enjoys his Sunday roast a little too much. Number 8. I'll just say it now. It's not a llama or an alpaca. What is number 8? And seconds. What do we call these animals? And just to avoid any major confusion, please notice how that tail wraps around the tree in case you were deciding between two of them. How do we do? How do we do?
What if it's called country area or if they're in Arizona they have a weed out?
They do live in America. Apparently, they just look different up there. And just like that, my friend goes, round number 2 is over. Right now, to look over your answers for spelling and legibility. They get them on up here in front of the sleeping house. Have to win third place to get it, though. That's the tragic part. Yeah, that's what third place gets. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, so focus a bit. Hey, upside down right there for me. We have thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
All right, folks, this is your last call. Hit all your switch please. Last call.
Yeah. Like,
Well, I mean, a half minutes ago. Well, we time, please.
There we go. Okay, folks, thanks for your patience. And you, some of these people challenging, and some of you put down some very interesting animals that I've never heard of. I did look them up to see if they looked close enough to get it. In general, they did not, except for one, which we'll talk about when we get there. But let's check those answers, see how your team did on these slightly off-kilter mammals here. I think almost everybody got this one. That's a good Tasmanian devil. God, that rowdy little turd. Which my uncle had one, and it lived underneath his shirt when he'd go to work. And he was hairy like me. He'd like crawl over his shoulder, and people just see this like lump moving around. Sugar glider, sugar glider. If you're going to take one on, please keep in mind it's 15 years of giving shits nonstop. Almost everybody said baboon. Unfortunately, this is not a baboon. They are closer related. It's also not a mandrake. That's a plant. This is a mandrill. A mandrill. Considered the most colorful mammal. Fun fact for your day. These guys are distinctly differently shaped from regular pigs and from warthogs in particular. This is a banded one from South America, but they also are here in North America. They're pecuaries, or we call them javelinas. You ever visit? There's tons of them in Arizona, javelinas. I had you're too much information for the night. I had a certain lounged out adult style cuddle puddle on top of a big rock interrupted by a bunch of javelinas. I'd say it was hot. It was not. They're scary little bastards. Lots of different guesses for this, like bear cat and polecat and such. None of those were correct necessarily. This is an African pseudo feline. It's called a civet. A civet. A lot of people put howler monkey for this one. Howler monkeys are very much monkey looking and mostly all black. They have a big scrotum hanging from their chin if they're the males. This is one of many different forms, though, of tamarin. Tamarins. You've seen the golden lion tamarins. This is a cotton top tamarin. They're a little old world monkey. This cute little bastard. All right, so 3 different teams put down a different name for this. I did look it up, and while I could argue with you that it's not quite right, the one you guys mentioned was cute as hell when I looked at his picture, so I got rarely won over. This is a sub-Saharan little creature called a hyrax, but I did take a quokka, which is a little Australian marsupial who, frankly, if you saw them side to side, you'd be like, that's not true. But do yourselves a favor right now and just Google QUOKKA and tell me that's not cute enough to get you a point. QUOKKA. You little cutie little bastards. All right, folks, I told you this is not an alpaca or a llama. It is actually a guanaco. That's a South American, another camelid. Here's the deal. Vicunas and guanacos cannot really be told apart, except that guanacos are huge compared to vicunas, okay? So there was not enough context there for you, so I took either one of those. Even though if you saw them side by side, you'd know which is which. People put Savannah cat, and when I looked it up, Savannah cat is actually a mix of a domestic cat with this cat, so I didn't take it. It's like the civet. This is a serval. This is a serval cat. A serval cat. And most of these are old world creatures that we just don't see much unless you're like me and didn't have friends, except for National Geographic for most of your upbringing. And last but not least, a few people said a loris. There's lots of different kinds of lorises. Lorises do not have prehensile tails. It's also not a lemur because it's from not only an island, it's from a completely different continent called South America and Central America. These adorable little turd bags who are as kind and cute as they look is a kinkajou. Kinkajou. So as you may have noticed from all the groans and like, who would know that comments, another rough round for you all. Night. I promise I'm not trying to be tricky, but I'm trying to respect the fact that all of us lead different lives with different experiences. And apparently most of you had friends in elementary and middle school and didn't just live with ancient National Geographics. Let's check your scores here, see how your team's doing. Hey, you know that when 3 is the most of the last 2 rounds for the first place team, it's been a rough night, but currently first place minimum contacts high is in first place with 19 points. Soka Genius side with 4, Merc of the Apocalypse with 18, and 100 Days of Turpitude with 17. It's all going to come down to our final round. This one is completely different. It's not as complicated as it sounds. I tried to explain it in 2 different ways. I'll give you 2 examples. So please listen up if you're the kind of person that gets easily confused. But before we start our final round, I just want to mention most teams have not used their star. I will not automatically star you, so I would highly recommend if you haven't used your star, circle it right now at the top of your sheets. It's something forever to put together. It'll either be really easy or impossible for you. Let's find out which. I call it Wordle Purgatory. If you're a Wordle player and you get 4 of the letters correct, but one of them in the middle is not correct, sometimes there's multiple words that can fill in that letter. So here is the instructions for this. Each answer is going to have 3 different words. They're all 5 letters, but from this clue, you're going to find 3 words that share 4 of the 5 same letters. Another way to say that is, of the 3 words, only 1 letter in the same position changes. That could sound like madness. I'm going to give you 2 examples. Okay, these are just examples. Don't stress out about this. It's way more straightforward than you think. So I'm going to give you some kind of crossword style clue that's a little tricksy or give you hints. Like, for example, if I gave you VP Boogie with a long thrusting weapon, VP is Vance, a boogie is a dance, and a long thrusting weapon is a lance. You will see that those 3 words, which you need to have in order, hypothetically, only change the same letter. Otherwise, they share 4 other letters, yes? All 3 words are required, yes. So, for example, let me give you another. It doesn't have to be the first letter. This one's a little more obscure, but if I said, permit someone to dish out an amalgam, you would have allow, a lot, and alloy in there. Again, the same letter changes, but all 3 words share the same 4 letters. Again, this is not as complicated as it sounds. Again, we'll see how you guys do. I didn't try to go crazy on these. But again, before I begin, 3 words to answer it in the right order, preferably, please. As you can see, permit is to allow, dish out is to allot, and amalgam is alloy. Also, all of them have 5 letters, and only the same slot, if you will, Wordle style, the same column, changes in each one. If you don't get it from here, I would say just enjoy your drink and watch your friends as we dive into round number 4, Wordle Purgatory, question number 1. Question number 1, angle your neck toward something you desire in a wooden box. Remember the basics? Remember the setup? Do your best here. Just thinking, if you can put those words in the order they appear in the clue, that would help me a lot. You can take some notes if you want to, but we're moving in 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Pretty straightforward, hopefully, as well. Curved blade is less dangerous in the hands of someone less crazy. Three words, 5 letters each, only one spot in those changes between the 3 words. Ten seconds. Question number 3. Classic horror creature plays cards on his belly. Crossword clues. A general idea of what it is. Okay, you can think about it. That's my job. And seconds in our verbal purgatory round. An entire citation. Forever. Oysters. And number 6, this was kind of funky, but sedimentary rock into unique silhouettes. Moving on to question number 7. Begin to ogle night lights. Four letters. Only one. 10 seconds. Moving on to number 8. Worries about sudden angle of large groups. Down to 10 seconds. Moving on to number 9. The energy a model gets during a game of standstill. If like I would look like a complete douche walking around like that, I'd be so honest. I think they you know what, they have enough style and like they don't look like they're great. 10 seconds. Have a nice little slip for your shoes to put on. Classy, yeah. And a buxom imperial woman is out of practice. And that, my friends, is going to do it for number 4. You have 2 minutes starting now. If you haven't started your rounds, please start now. Your 2 minutes starts now. I honestly, I just look at the answers. If it's on the wrong line, I wouldn't even notice.
Okay.
1 minute down. A reminder, you're in 1 minute.
All our notes are on the back.
All right, folks, the last couple to get all those slips in, please. Your time has passed. You're now late. And folks, all those slips should be up, all slips. Sorry, thank you, sir. I usually need a heads up for this, folks, in a couple of weeks. May 12th down here, Monday. We're doing a special bingo for both the Missoula Maggots and the Missoula other side. Our awesome rugby teams. It's going to be a special bingo. We're going to throw it down, have some fun. And a reminder that that weekend, the weekend after May 12th, is Maggot Fest. If you've never been or participated, get your buds on it. It is a rowdy good time. Good work. Like, I can be my favorite. Thank you, darling. All righty, folks. Before we find out those final answers, a pretty good, probably the best round for most of y'all. I'm going to shameless self-promotion. I spent probably 10 to 12 hours putting these questions together for you guys. In case you wondered why some rounds are like weirdly garbage or some are something you've never done before, I really do care about y'all, and I spend a lot of time to try to make your few hours here as enjoyable as possible. But it takes me a ton of time as much as I love this bar. Thank you. So, if you would be kind enough after having these hours of free entertainment to throw a couple bucks into my tip jar up here or at the Venmo, I'd be sure appreciated. Let's check those answers. But yeah, I'm glad you all come down. I really enjoy doing this for you. May not be the best, but at least I don't order some subscription and then just do that. Like 70% of people in town. Let's see how y'all did. I think this first one everybody got pretty well. If you're going to angle your neck towards something you desire in a wooden box, we're talking craning your neck for something you crave in a crate. Curved blade, less dangerous, and someone less crazy. We're looking for a safer, and saner, as in less crazy, more sane. Classic horror creature, or I guess a modern-ish one. Plays cards on his belly. That's a mummy. Rummy the cards, tummy the belly. Passing time on an entire cetacean, you can while away the hours on a whole whale. Cetaceans are everything, like those kind of big mammals, big sea mammals. But whale was the one that fit the clue. This run through a few of you, and I can tell you never got shit can drunk and stuck out at the Testicle Festival that used to happen out in Rock Creek. Money's owed for as bills for bull balls. Rocky Mountain oysters are hypothetically cow testicles, but cows don't have balls. Bovine testicles. A few of you interpreted silhouettes as shade. I did not take that, because if you're going to finely trim finely stratified rock into unique stuff, we're looking for shape. You're going to shave shale into a shape. While silhouettes are black, they are not what I would consider a shade. And because I have all the power here, but it's all I care about in this world, begin to all the lights. We're looking for start, stare, and stars. Start, stare, and stars. One of y'all's got that one. This one, I think, threw a few more people off. If you're going to worry about sudden angle changes of large groups, we're going to stew about skews of slews. I know. Hey, just because you suck doesn't mean you boo me. Show me how much you hate me by paying me money. No, literally put money in my thing to be like, get an education, asshole. Really shove it in my face. That'll learn me. That'll teach me. All right, the energy a model gets from playing a game of chance and skill. I think a lot of folks picked up on this one as well. That is the power a poser gets from playing poker. Poser, you're a poser. Your mom's a poser. And finally, a buxom and virile woman is simply out of practice. We were looking for busty, lusty, and rusty. Busty, lusty, rusty. I like that's the one that gets applause. Some MILF lover out there is like, Did I say MILF? I meant GILF. I like them real out of practice. All right, let's check your final scores. Spoiler alert, we will need a tiebreaker between teams first and second place. That means if you are one of the first or second place teams, please come up immediately, grab a new sheet of paper from me, and we'll give you a quick tiebreaker to decide between first and second. But here are our final scores of the night. Folks, admittedly pretty low scores. I will consider this. I'll be a little rougher or nicer to you next time. Well, members, last week everybody had like 30s and 40s as totals. And I was like, oh, that's too easy. So, much like our messed up democracy, we sometimes swing a little too hard to correct ourselves. We're down here every Wednesday for the last almost 3 years. So, we'll figure it out. And here we are at the top. We have a tie for first and second between Fairy Drunk Mother and Four Merkins of the Apocalypse. But General Custer's Nut Busters. Oh, here, just take this shot. General Custer's Nut Busters will be taken home with newly designed original Snoopy Snow Cone machine. Take, enjoy, please. Top rack dishwash use if you're going to use it, because that thing came from Goodwill. Just saying. Nothing wrong with Goodwill, but I wouldn't put a lot of things from it directly in my mouth. That's from strangers I meet in an alley. All right. Let's move on to our tiebreaker. This for our two top teams, side between first and second place. Here's your question. How long did King George VI of Britain reign? Please give this in years and days if you want, or just years. Again, in case you missed the clue, King George VI was Queen Elizabeth II's father. So he was ruling in the early 20th century. How long did King George VI of Britain reign supreme? And here's a picture of he almost handsome, except you could definitely smell the inbreeding on it, right? There's just looks a little too much like a vicuna or, a different camelid of South America. Who needs cheekbones? I have tons of family related to each other. And we're looking for, in years and or days, if you want to get specific, but years in particular, how long did King George VI of Britain reign? We have one of our teams already in. Fairy Drunk Mother is already in. We're still waiting for our other team. There we go. Oh, thank you for making it easy for me. The Four Merkins of the Apocalypse guessed 5 years. The Fairy Drunk Mother guessed 15 years. That's way easier than getting into the deets. Thank you, guys. Actual answer is 15 years and 58 days. Meaning Fairy Drunk Mother will get home first place tonight. And I don't have the cards, so we'll harass some staff here. And our lovely friends at Four Merkins of the Apocalypse will be taken home third. Or second, excuse me. Third's already gone. All right, y'all, thank you so much for coming down. We're down Wednesday at Cranky's. If you like to win but not have to use so much of your brain, we run a little thing called bingo down here every Tuesday, 7:30 to 9:30. My God, fold those ones so they look big. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Thank you. We generally have pots about $350 to $450 for our bingo. Sometimes we actually reach the state limit of $600. This ain't your grandma's bingo winning like $35. This $35 doesn't buy anything anymore. So if you're down for some bingo, get down. Come visit us every Tuesday. Tuesdays down here. Fold it in, tuck it in. Spit on it first, though, like a gentleman. Thank you. Before you slide it in. Anyway, thank you all so much. I'm so obsessed with it.
Also, you guys, I thought I finally opened the box that I got from you for Christmas, and they're the slightly bigger ones. Yeah. And I reached in to give him one, and I was like, and he was like, because he doesn't have to break up his stuff into small pieces. He was like, I get this whole thing. He was, I got really excited.
I'll see you guys down here next week for Trivia Wednesday, 7:30 to 9:30 this summer.
Appreciate y'all.
Second place, I didn't feel like being first losers. It was a rough night. Well, you were here last week, and everybody was getting like 45s out of 50, and I was like, okay. I was like, I need to adjust this sharply. Too much of an adjustment, maybe.
But that was no. I care where we go. I just don't want to like. I don't want to go stand around and watch you guys not pay attention or converse because you're so obsessed with fucking pinball. Something. I mean, that's $3 if people like it. Kettle House beer. It's the cheapest kettle house in town. But it's not for everybody. It's on the stock. So if you guys need to go pinball, please go pinball. Sure, that's way more important than what I've been doing for the last 3 months since we've had a real conversation. So please, go play your random game of skill and chair.
Is there another like location?
I even got to the Reno. Like I don't care. I felt Max. I didn't want to yuck your guys' yum.
No.
But last time we hung out, I was like, why am I here? Nobody's going to, like, I can't even get a word in. I tried to talk to you 3 times, and you were like, and I was like, okay, so she's gaming, and they're standing in this space this wide. I was like, well, I can't just stand over her shoulder.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go buy my own tokens after giving you, like, $40 for it, and then could never find you again. So I just fucking left.
Yeah, that's not.
It wasn't very fun.
Yeah, that's not very intense.
And I'm over it now, but I was like, what was this?
It's not very intense.
From the fuck on.
Yeah.
Nothing you have to like dote about way, but when we haven't seen each other in so long.
Yeah.
That's the poopy part. Or that was the